What does the Restoring Honor rally, headlined by Fox News' Glenn Beck, hope to accomplish? Joining us now to talk about this, Fox News contributor Deneen Borelli, a senior fellow for Project 21. She is a national leadership network of black conservatives. So, Deneen, thanks for joining us today. What has this day, or Restoring Honor, meant for you?
Well, for me personally, I'm so glad to have been able to attend this event. I was 3 rows from the podium. And what an amazing day this is. There is a huge coming together of Americans from across the country who are concerned about the direction of our country. And thank God for Glenn Beck, because he took the risk to put this event on to restore honor and integrity to our country. The King dream, really, in my opinion, has been realized. We have a lot of success and achievement in our country from all races and all backgrounds.
And to the detractors who said that it was not good of you to be there on this particular day because of what took place there 47 years ago, what do you say to the critics?
I say to them that they should have been here to witness this amazing event. Of course, there are always going to be naysayers and critics, but you know, this is about liberty. So really, they have a problem with liberty, which is very unfortunate.
A general tone of frustration and anger with the current size, scope, and activity of government, and the desire to re-inject God into American political discourse. What'd you take from that?
Well, first of all, God's been a big part of this country since we began. I mean, this is a country built on faith and confidence in the Almighty, and you can see this region right here. So, I mean, Glenn Beck's idea is not new. It's been around a long time, and one of the reasons this region is surviving is because of our faith. What I think Glenn Beck misses is that it's not just talking, it's actually actions. It's caring for the poor, it's caring for the sick. It is, you know, using the power of government in a positive way to meet the private sector and the nonprofits and all of our people of faith to do right by the people. That's where Glenn Beck's wrong. And I'll tell you another way Glenn Beck's wrong. He and his whole crew said that this city could be rebuilt by private effort alone. The government was terrible. The government couldn't do anything. Do you know how many houses all of the nonprofits have built? No more than 5,000 in 5 years. Do you know how many we lost? 200,000. So Glenn Beck has to go back and look at the facts, because he is preaching a gospel that never has existed, doesn't exist today, and never will.
Others in the crowd also talked about the messages they hope get out today.
A positive message about getting back to our grassroots of what our country was founded on, which was God and the principles that the Bible preaches and the Constitution was built on, and getting back to those core principles.
So hopefully this will be a call to restore the historical values in our nation of hard work, personal responsibility, families taking care of families, churches getting re-engaged.
The second message they should get, politicians, is where are you headed? Where are you taking? We want the truth. Americans just want the truth. And that's why I said in the speech, demand the truth from yourself first before you demand it from someone else.
The civil rights movement always had an agenda beyond just equality, beyond just, quote, justice. The full name of the march 47 years ago was the March on Washington for Jobs and Freedom. One of the speakers at the event was a labor leader, A. Philip Randolph, who talked about the injustice of people who live in poverty. John Lewis, then a student, now a congressman, said this at the event: "We need a bill that will ensure the equality of a maid who earns $5 a week in the home of a family whose total income is $100,000 a year." The civil rights movement was always about an economic agenda.
Well, you know what, Chris? I think that is part of it, but that's a part of it that I don't agree with.
Because Martin Luther King was assassinated when he was leading the Poor People's Campaign. He advocated what he called an economic bill of rights, guaranteeing everyone a job. I mean, you may say, well, that's not your civil rights movement, but it was Martin Luther King's.
Well, I'm not Martin Luther King. Martin Luther King would have to stand for Martin Luther King, let his words stand where they are. What I'm talking about is, and look, Chris, I didn't intentionally put it on 828. The message is about God and faith. My feeling right now is the country is in trouble, and I don't see a political solution because I think we're too divided. I think both parties have sold their souls. And you know, our founders, if you read their speeches and you read their documents and their letters to each other, when they founded our country, they all said it would happen if the people turned from God. So let's take them as people who knew what they were talking about. What do you say we give the whole let's turn back to God thing a try and see what happens?